Welcome to the Sartin&Sartin podcast. I'm Nick.
What's up, everybody? I'm Brandon. Here at the Sartin&Sartin podcast, we break down and discuss financial deals that happen in sports and relate those deals to the financial decisions we make in our everyday lives.
My brother here is a former college athlete, went to law school, worked at the NCAA, worked at a Big Ten institution, now works at a law firm in downtown Atlanta.
And Nick also has a lot to add to the conversation. He's a student athlete at Morehouse College playing football. He's a finance major, and he just landed an internship at a top 4 consulting firm in the world. So what's up, bro? What you got on your mind today?
Nah, I came back in school, got back to the dorm. I was with my roommate, and he asked me my take on the Brian Flores situation, what was going on.
Yeah.
And for me, looking at these polarizing figures in the NFL, NBA, it brought me back to the Kyrie situation in the bubble about 2 years ago. Really trying to bring social change to the workplace.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, in 2022, is it essential to utilize the workplace to bring social change?
That's a good question. Y'all having some deep thoughts over there, huh?
Oh, come on now.
All right. So one, I think we should give some background on the Brian Flores situation and Kyrie. Brian Flores is suing the NFL based on the allegations that they have racial discrimination in their hiring practices. Kyrie Irving, in the summer of 2020, when the NBA instituted a bubble during the peak of COVID for the NBA playoffs, Kyrie suggested that the NBA players not participate in the playoffs in hopes of bringing awareness to racial inequality, given the fact that George Floyd murder happened not too long before the NBA playoffs started. So for one, I think those situations are totally different. Brian Flores is suing the NFL based on the allegation that he was discriminated against inside the workplace, whereas Kyrie Irving was hoping to bring awareness about something that was going on socially outside the workplace, and was hoping to use the NBA as a platform to raise awareness on that. Now, when speaking specifically about Kyrie, I think that we should be cautious or hesitant about using our workplace as a platform to bring awareness about social issues or remedy social issues that we're passionate about for 2 reasons. One, I think we have to consider the impact that it will have on your career and your ability to serve those that you're passionate about. And then secondly, I think we really have to consider whether your workplace, whether your job will produce an initiative that best serves the people that you're passionate about serving. We have to really consider whether that is the environment to do so. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I think Kyrie, in his instance, he's such a polarizing figure in the league that he's kind of a one-of-a-kind situation. So, he's able to do certain things, but, bringing it to the corporate world, bringing it to everybody else, people like me, college students, employees this day and age are really willing to risk their livelihood, for social change. And that's very interesting because that's been happened all across the United States for a long time. But the thing that's so different about it now is that I feel like the companies are really adapting to this. I think you take a long list. Employees really just want to have recognition. They really want to be able to create the social change and utilize it. But the thing about it is, we live in a capitalist society, correct? Mm-hmm. And when you're connected to a $1 billion organization or a company that's grossing in so much money, you're connected to it. So employees really, I feel like, are just utilizing their resources in these situations, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that companies now are kind of allowing it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that in these communities, these companies are giving leeway to these employees where they're able to create these solidarity groups to really get their points across. Yeah. And I think you see that in a lot of different companies this day and age. You have Ben & Jerry's who push political, just different political ideas to the world based off their whole ice cream cartons, right? You feel me? Same thing with Starbucks, right? And the thing about it is consumers want to buy from people that have like-minded views. And it was a poll from a certain website. It was 70% of the consumers want to buy from places that are like-minded, that have the same type of ideologies and views. So I think now you see with a lot of different examples that employees are kind of have a little more leeway to use this to bring outside social problems and bring it to the workplace. And I think now that's kind of a big thing this day and age. And I think especially my generation being so progressive that me and you, people me and yours age really kind of feel like that's a social norm. I feel like back in the day it was kind of a privilege to be able to do this, but now it's becoming a social norm in this society,
Okay, I think that's fair. I have a couple rebuttals to that. So first you mentioned that employees want to feel respected. Employers are allowing it in terms of allowing employees to create solidarity groups and things of that nature that would help promote or raise awareness about social issues outside the workplace. I think that's great. I think employers that allow that, that's absolutely phenomenal. However, I think you're still not considering the impact it has, right? Yeah. Although it's happening, which we acknowledge. What I'm asking you, what I'm suggesting, or what I'm hoping to bring awareness to is the impact it has on those employees' career trajectory after they do that, right? So yeah, the organization may allow it, but ultimately, how is that employee viewed after that fact? Okay, well, and then I'll let you rebut after I have a couple more points. Yeah. So how is the employee viewed after that fact? And ultimately, is that perception negative to the point in which it hinders that employee's ability to climb the corporate ladder or whatever the case may be? And then if it doesn't that impact that employee's ability to serve others, right? The better you're doing, ultimately, the more you're able to help others, right? Yeah. So I think that's one point in terms of it being allowed. Secondly, you mentioned that consumers want to buy from like-minded organizations or companies or companies that have like-minded views. Yeah, I think that's true. But ultimately, if you put yourself in the mind of the company, then how do you best please the masses? Yeah. By really having no views at all, which is the point I'm making as to why companies really don't want to take stances. Because companies want to do what's popular so that they can please people, so that people want to buy their products, right? And what do you have to say to that?
Companies, they take stances already, though. I mean, to the first point, though, what I'm trying to say is, individually, yes, it's very difficult. My whole thing was, I'll give you an example. I went to a lot of conferences this past fall at a lot of worker unions fair in Atlanta. It was for my class, but I'm trying to unionize it, kind of. When I'm talking about solidarity groups, I mean bring it in as not as a union, but as you have strength in numbers. Right. Okay. Individualize it. Individually, it'll be very difficult because it's solely on you. So it's pinpoints on you for sure. Right. But I think you bring it as a whole group thing. If you're in a corporate world, if you all have you find a group of people who have like-minded views, then you're able to get it done. Okay. Mm-hmm. But these companies, I feel like you're being very idealistic to think that companies don't have views. Like, they're super PACs. Companies have political views. Like Walmart, Amazon, they donate money to these.
No doubt about it. We're speaking about views that they're broadcasting publicly.
But they are, though.
These PACs, most people don't know what companies.
They don't. No, they don't. But they're doing it, though. Of course. The masses don't know this, but yes, they're doing it. So I feel like if they're behind the scene undercover doing, donating millions of $500 million to different organizations, different political figures to create their own agenda, to push their own agenda.
Right.
What's different between these employees using their platform to push their own agenda also?
Well, I don't think anything's wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't. I'm saying that we should be mindful of it for a couple of reasons. And I want to be clear about the basis of, or the premise of why I'm suggesting that we should be hesitant. It's not because I'm suggesting that we shouldn't burden these corporations or organizations with our thoughts and feelings as to social issues that are going on in our society. It's the fact that there are more efficient ways to create that change in 2022 in my mind. I don't think we have to go through the workplace. The workplace is it's a difficult area to bring about social change because you're bringing so many different type of people into an organization that have so many different views, and you're asking them to be aligned on something that isn't the mission of the organization. For in the NBA situation, they are a for-profit company that broadcasts basketball games. Okay, so they have no expertise in how to rid society of racial inequality. That's not their expertise. Okay, so going back to my second point, we have to really examine if these organizations, Walmart you mentioned, is the best platform to create social change in the way in which we want to see it. Because as you said earlier, people want to buy from corporations that have like-minded views. And if these corporations are taking staunch stances on issues, that's not going to be good for their bottom line. So ultimately, when they create these initiatives to help, whatever social cause that they're interested in, it's typically, in my estimation, going to be something that's a little less substantive because they have so many people to please. Let me give you an example. I worked for an organization, and they were very progressive. And I appreciated that. That was very much appreciated, their willingness and thoughtfulness in getting involved in social and political issues. However, I thought some of the issues that we created were a bit watered down and not as substantive as they could have been, because the leaders in the organization had to consider their stakeholders and the people that they had to answer to, and whether this would be palatable to all the consumers that they were hoping to sell a product to. And ultimately, because of that, like I said, it was a watered down initiative, which led me to believe the best course of action for somebody who's passionate about ridding society of social issues or particular social issue is to partner or use the resources that your organization has and bring those resources to an organization whose mission it is to rid or to create social change in that particular area. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I know we got to wrap up, but I think that, give me a couple more points real quick. I'm thinking that I understand what you're saying on that. But the NBA's whole goal, like you said, is to generate good basketball games, entertainment source.
Yeah.
But in the bubble, you had a group of people who had the same idea, and they were able to create. I don't know what you view how they changed it that much, but they were able to create just awareness, with the whole Black Lives Matter sign on their stuff, and just pushing the agenda for the for social change at that point. And then I think take away from the NBA. Last year, you had companies like Amazon and Walmart who were able to sign 50,000 petitions. Walmart had a shooting in Texas, and they were able to sign 50,000 petitions to create gun control at Walmart, to not sell certain type of guns at Walmart.
Right.
Amazon workers were fed up about climate change. They were able to put money behind climate change and really to push that agenda at Amazon. And my whole point I'm trying to get at here is that in this world, this capitalist world, you're saying that it's better suited to use another type of organization to be able to create change. Mm-hmm. But money talks. If you're with these billion-dollar organizations,
I agree.
Why would you not utilize them?
Well, if you're in a position to influence those in your organization, why don't you take the resources your organization has and partner with the organization whose mission it is to fix that issue? I'm not speaking from a fact that, like I said, we shouldn't use these organizations because it burdens them. I'm saying it's going to drain our energy because you're going to have a lot of pushback from those in that have a lot of pushback from those in the organization who have different views than you. And then to my point, Amazon and Walmart aren't experts in climate control. They're not experts in gun regulations. Why not take that resource and give it to an organization who knows what they're doing so they can produce the best initiative to fix the issue?
And if they're willing to do that, if Amazon and Walmart are willing to do that, then that's
well, if they're willing to do it on their own, why aren't they willing to do it with another organization? And also from a consumer perception standpoint, if just like most people don't know if you're donating money to a PAC, they probably won't know if you're donating to another organization that's trying to create, for example, get rid of racial inequality.
I mean, that makes sense. I understand. And I get your points. And if that's able to get done, then sure, so be it. In summary, I would say is, if you're able to, to climb the ladder and individually, create social change, that's kind of risky, because there's a lot of things that could potentially go wrong. In my view, if you're using a solidified group, a union, you more so want to speak, then I think you're able to create that social change easier without pinpointing that direct eyes all on you. All on you. And also, these companies have their own agendas, man. They're pushing. So if you want to create social change and bring it to the workplace, don't feel bad about it. We're in 2022. We're in a progressive era. So, be yourself, and if you want to and it's really on your heart, get it done. Find like-minded people and figure it out.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't want this conversation to be perceived as one of discouraging those to engage in, social discourse or conversations about social issues. My premise, again, is to reiterate, is just to be mindful, because you want to be able to help those that you're passionate about serving in a manner that is the most efficient way, in an efficient manner, I should say. And the workplace may not be the most efficient manner, and ultimately that can impact you. And I think we have to be mindful of that when we try to create social change. What's the most efficient way to do it in a way that will help me best serve the people that I want to serve, but also promote me and help me in terms of longevity of my career.
Yeah, potentially you don't want them to risk their own livelihood.
Exactly.
And mess up with everything they got going on.
Exactly.
And that makes perfectly good sense. Exactly. It's a great point to have. But thank you guys. Thank you for subscribing to the Sartin&Sartin podcast. Like, subscribe, do all that. Man, appreciate y'all.